When I was 28 years old, I was a millionaire, making $250,000 a year, but I had done a lot of stupid stuff. You ever done something stupid with money? Yeah, I've done a lot of stupid stuff with money. I had borrowed too much money, and the bank got sold to another bank, and they called our notes. I had a brand new baby, a toddler, a young marriage. I was so scared I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what to do. You ever been there? I remember distinctly, and it's 30 years ago. I still remember distinctly trying to balance the checkbook. Now, this is old school. There was no internet. So I had the little checkbook register out with my calculator, and I was trying to balance the checkbook, and I realized I had not entered a check, meaning that I had operated off of a false balance, and I was going into overdraft, and then there was going to be overdraft charges, and the check was going to bounce. You know that feeling? My heart rate changes. A little sweat right on the top of your upper lip, right above your eyebrows, and some right in the palm of your hand. It's called stress, fear, anxiety, looking at the mountain of bills piled up on the desk. Can't breathe. Thinking about how I'm going to sit down and talk to my wife and say, that money I thought we had for groceries, it's not there. What are we going to do? They're going to cut the lights off on Tuesday, honey. The electric company's coming on Tuesday. The last notice of the last notice of the last notice has now come. Since it's the third time they're cutting off the electricity, this time they're going to take the meter out. And it's going to cost us an extra several $100s to get it put back in. Yeah, I know it's cold outside. I know we have babies to keep warm. You ever had those kinds of discussions, those conversations? I hope you never do. But most people have. Some degree or another. Maybe you didn't know millions of dollars, and maybe you weren't stupid as I was. Maybe you were slightly stupid as compared to my PhD in DUMB. But if you've ever done something really dumb and been so scared you couldn't breathe, you're listening to the right show. That's why I started doing this radio show. To take people that were like that and show them how to get their feet back under them and actually become wealthy and live their dreams. Go from stressed out and can't breathe with my heart racing to multimillionaire with my family tree changed. To where I'm the last Ramsey in this branch of the tree that will have to worry about money. My kids and my grandkids have really got to screw this up to go through how much money we've piled up now. Because when I hit that bottom, I hit it so hard, I said, never again. Not only am I going to never again sit here and have this conversation inside my head, not only am I going to have this conversation with my wife, this is it. It stops here with the Ramsey family. This branch of the tree, it stops here. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. It stops here. As for me and my house, we don't borrow money anymore. Ever. For anything. Because you see, when you don't have any payments, it's fairly easy to build wealth. When you don't have any payments, your stress level goes almost to zero. When you don't have any payments, you're able to give and be generous and not even think about it. You don't have to worry when you're not broke about your generosity. You're not making a choice between taking care of your own household first or being generous when you're not broke. You can do both. But it's an intentional act to not be broke. You can get broke by no fault of your own. or you can get broke like I did, a fault of your own. Sometimes things happen to you that are out of your control, and it's not your fault. Staying there, however, is your fault. Staying there would have been my fault. But I said never again. Never again. Had our 5th grandchild born this week. Never again. He will not have that experience. The only way he'll have that experience is if he misbehaves and gets cut out of the family fortune. Because he's going to be okay if he behaves. He's covered. And his brother and his sister and his 2 cousins, they're covered. Because I said never again. You can say never again. You can decide to change your family tree starting right now. If you're sitting there like that lady who started the show off today from Idaho, she's so scared with $130,000 in debt and a $40,000 income and brand new jobs, just got those jobs and they're not even great jobs. And she's scared. Overwhelmed. Can't breathe. If that's you, it'll take you some time. It'll be hard. No, discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. But I will make you a promise. If you will live like no one else, I will show you how that by living like no one else, later you can live and give like no one else. You can not only change your life, you can not only change your destiny, not only change the quality of your retirement personally, but you can change your entire family tree. And if you really want to think big, you can get yourself in a position to change your community with your generosity and never miss a dime of it. What if you could give away millions of dollars a year? Could you do some good with that? There's a prerequisite to that. You'd have to first have millions of dollars a year. Ta-da! Here's the trick. Anyone can do it. I don't care what your education level is. I don't care what your background is. I don't care where you come from, how your family acted. I don't care what your race is. I don't care. I have met people of every region, background, race, education level that have turned this financial thing around by a sheer act of their will. Some get a head start based on the family they come from, the education that's provided to them. Some get a head start based on their race. Some get a head start based on their sex. But just because you got a head start doesn't mean you can't run the race. Just because somebody else got a head start doesn't mean you can't run the race. Is it harder for some than others? Yes. Some of us aren't as smart as some of you. Makes it harder when you're dumb. But when you're dumb and you keep doing dumb things, that's just stupid. That's different than just not having the raw material. That just means I'm making bad choices. So I don't know how you got there, and I'm not blaming you for being there. But 5 years from now, if you're still there, that's your fault. Because I can show you how to get out. Step by step. I have shown millions and millions of families how to turn their financial life around, get out of debt, and be on the road to being millionaires. Meaning that you changed your family tree and you ensured your financial destiny for retirement. I know some of you are scared. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. Let's trade it for a different t-shirt. What do you say? This is the Dave Ramsey Show.